Welcome back to another day of building. Today we are doing the Ghostbusters car, Ecto-1. I've had this set for at least a year, maybe. This is going to be another multi-part build because there are 12 bags of parts. The piece count is around 2,300. I don't have the exact number in front of me here. I can figure that out. So it's quite large, a bit larger than the Super Mario question mark block that we did a little while ago. Unfortunately, I kind of expected this, but there's a pretty substantial sticker sheet in here. So fun with stickers as we go along. And I don't know, I'm looking at the stickers already. They don't really look like they're giving any remarkable detail other than just some grunge to the car. So I don't know, I might even consider not putting them on. We'll see when we get there. So let's just get right into bag number 1. Looking at the instructions a little bit closer, this is clearly the Ecto-1 from the newest movie, which is at this time Ghostbusters Afterlife, because it's got a few features that you see in that movie. And I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen the movie, but this is definitely not the Ecto-1 from the original Ghostbusters from the 1980s. Let's get going. You can just see on the edge of the cam here, the instructions are on black paper, which is fine, I guess, because the set is mostly white, but it's not that pleasing to look at. When there's some black pieces and everything has to be outlined in order to be able to see them in the instructions manual. A lot of Technic pins. Oh, as usual, I've already made a mistake. Well, it wouldn't be one of my videos if I didn't make at least one mistake. So this, whatever we're building right now, must obviously have a little bit of functionality to it. I think I know what this is, but again, I don't want to necessarily spoil it, although it'll be spoiled once it's built. Doesn't look like a car right now, does it? It'll get there. I'm not sure how many videos I'm going to break this one into. We'll see how long and how detailed each bag is. My last multi-part video was 5 parts, which went okay, I think. Might be a bit long for most people, but I'm not even sure if the same people watching parts 1 through 4 are watching part 5. And so I might just try to make each one a standalone, and if people and not worry about how many parts there are. If people are interested, they will watch the other ones. Make sure I got those in the right spot. Start to see the length of this already. That yellow piece is just being used as a spacer. So it's clear bag 1 is all about just getting the base of the car built. Technic pins make for a nice solid construction, but it can be sometimes difficult to get the pins to line up across a lengthy piece. I'm going to run out of table space here quite quickly on this build. I might have to push some of my parts off camera. Here we go. Across multiple pins. Eight pins. They have to all go in at the same time. Good thing the Lego pieces are a little bit flexible because they have to kind of cram one end in first and then try to wedge the pins on the other end in. There we go. Oh. And then these middle ones have to go in. Come on. There we go. Nice solid base of the vehicle. Oh, that's a tight fit. Oh, this is, oh, okay. It's the first axle for one of the wheels, I believe. More Technic pins, trying to get them lined up. That one was easier, just because it's a shorter piece. So that looks like most of the base here now. I'm going to put some of the cover plates on. Nine of these. That's interesting. There's just that piece with a hole in it. Oops. This is a very big gear. What is this used for? Well, whatever it's used for goes right here. Okay, this is some sort of a, I don't know if it's necessarily a drive shaft, but this goes through all of these holes here and will mate into that piece right there. So now the whole thing, we can see this part can rotate now. All right, the instructions manual is showing me I've got to be careful with the orientation of this part. I want the opening for the ball joint to be up when I'm doing this. This is probably one of those sets where if you really don't pay attention at the beginning, you'll make a mistake, you'll bury the mistake in the middle of the set. You won't realize your mistake because the mating piece won't happen until much later. And then once you do get to that part, you'll realize you have to take it all apart in order to get it to work. So double check, that looks right. Yeah, after that lecture of got to pay attention and or you'll make a mistake, I made a mistake. This had to go in the middle here, not on the end. Okay, so they're up. This goes in here. Yeah, whatever that is, it's rigid now. That matches the picture. See, when I'm building my own sets, I don't think of all of this internal mechanics that need to go into a set. It's interesting how the designers of these sets think of all of this. So I don't know what we're building here, but it's a little complex. Well, this has 3 ball joints on it. It looks like it just pops in here. Another one on the other side. This must be where the wheels attach. Oh, my brain is now starting to kind of figure out what's going to go on. There might be a steering wheel in here that will actually attach to this and let you steer the wheels, which would be really cool. Because these pieces here, where it's just a Technic pin with 2 holes on each end, this is meant to attach to these ball joints. And when you do so, this gets a pretty good range of motion. So it's good for attaching 2 elements that have the ball joints on it. Did I put these on wrong? Oh, I put this whole assembly in backwards. Oh, great. Okay, that looks better. So, what's going on here? This has to go in here. These go on the back and then attach to the middle of, well, I can't see what I'm doing. I'll do it on the other side. So as I was just kind of explaining, this part, other end of this Technic pin with the ball socket goes onto the middle of this ball joint. And now when I turn this, you can see how that whole assembly kind of wiggles around. Not a whole lot of motion there, but there's a little bit of motion. You know, I like sets that have this kind of functionality to it. Makes it a little bit more interesting than just a static object. Oh, this is going to go onto the other tops of these ball joints here. Wow. So much complexity just in this little piece here. If I can get the Technic pins in. Come on. All right, so these just go down and snap into there. So now it fixes, right, do it that way. It fixes these into basically 2 degrees of well, actually it's 1 degree of freedom, just side to side. All that just to turn the wheels. This is going to be a really fun set, and I say fun sarcastically, to take apart. Just because all these pins. Got to pay attention to the sequence when you're taking something apart that's got this many pins in it. Where does this go? It goes in here. Well, I really want this all tied together. That goes all the way through into these pieces here. Wow. Now, talking about taking something out. This, no, it's hard to see now. I'll point. This pin in here, which goes through this piece, and into this one. The only way to get this out is by poking it out from this side. So, that's going to be tough. Can't just pull that off. You're going to have to pull each piece off individually. that's definitely not going anywhere. That is solid. Well, I just turned the page. Looks like I'm on bag 2, but I have some rather substantial pieces left over here. Where do these go? I'm a little afraid. This is clearly obvious. Well, I'm not going to put that in until I know where these go. So, ooh, what did I miss? It's not there. Yeek. Ooh, what did I miss? These are supposed to go in here. Crap. Oh, crap. Because the only way to get these in is to pop the plates off, and the only way to pop the plate... Oh. Alright, can I do this without completely ripping this apart? Can I can probably just give that a little bit of a pop out. Same thing with that. Just pop it off a little bit. Because I just need enough room to get this slipped into the pin. There we go. Same thing here. Slip it into the pin. And then I should just be able to tamp that all down again. Well, that wasn't too bad. So those two parts I missed. And then this just goes right here. Well, that was a fun part 1, or bag number 1 of the build, in terms of all the things I missed. We got our, I'm guessing this is the front of the vehicle, maybe it's the back. Got our little wheel assembly. Obviously there might be one on the back. Well, maybe not, because I guess only the front wheels need to steer, the back wheels don't steer, unless you're 4-wheel drive. Right, on to bag number 2.